Say so. Rack it up, I got a bit of the bank to make me a safe house. Shake it up, she got her hands on her knees and she bringing the cake out. Smoke it up, I got some gas, some packs, I'm up in the greenhouse.
The iPhone X was launched back in 2017 and it was a complete design overhaul for Apple. So is it still worth it to get it in 2021? And we're gonna discuss exactly that in this particular video. So if you're interested in this particular topic, then make sure to stick till the end. So let's get started. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm your friend Shinobi and I recently bought the iPhone X and I've been using it for about 3 months now. I got it for around $300 or about 24,000 Indian rupees, and yeah, I've been daily driving it and the experience has been quite nice honestly. So the iPhone X that I have is the space gray variant and it's a 256GB variant. So it only came out in like the 64GB and 256GB variants and there were 2 colors. So I have the space gray one and yeah, honestly it looks really nice. It does have a few scratches and dents here and there because it is a used phone, but yeah, overall the phone has held up really well over these years. The one which I got was bought back in 2018. Yeah, it's right now running on iOS 15.1, which is really nice. After 4 years, this phone runs really smoothly even now. The software is really good. There are a few bugs here and there in iOS 15, but overall this phone runs really smooth. So if we talk about the design and build quality, so this phone came back in 2017 and it has glass at the back and glass at the front, and the rims are made out of stainless steel, which give it a very unique look. And yeah, the stainless steel has discolored over time, which is a thing that it does. It happens with all the stainless steel iPhones, and yes, it has like discolored over the years, but it still looks really nice honestly, and it feels sturdy in the hand. It feels heavy. It has quite a heft, but it is still a like handy phone because it has a 5.8-inch OLED display. And yeah, this was the first for Apple. First time they introduced OLED display in their iPhones with the iPhone X. And yeah, honestly the display is not that great when compared to the competition, but yes, it is a really good display. It gets plenty bright inside and outside also, but I would have liked a little bit more brightness outside. But overall this display is really good. It has pretty accurate colors. Everything looks great on it. But yeah, it does have its fair share of like compromises, like it has quite of a tint when you tilt it off axis, and yeah, it doesn't get like that dim, and also there are a few black crush issues on this. So yeah, this display is not that perfect, but over time Apple has improved their OLED technology and now the iPhone 13 series has amazing displays. So this was the start of that. And if you take a look at the design, so this was a complete design change from what Apple was making before this phone. So along with the iPhone X, they also launched the iPhone 8 and 8 Plus, which had that old big bezel design, but this has very thin and uniform bezels all around. It is a full screen display with a big notch at the top, which houses the Face ID scanners. Yes, it has all the Face ID sensors, and this was also a new thing for Apple. So they ditched Touch ID and they introduced this new biometric method which is called Face ID, and yeah, it uses a ton of sensors to scan your face and unlock your phone. And honestly, Face ID works really well. So it even works in the dark and it unlocks the phone pretty quickly, and over time with software updates this has become really quick. But yes, this does come with its fair share of challenges. Like right now during the pandemic we have to wear masks all the time, and it becomes really annoying unlocking your phone with face unlock or Face ID because it just doesn't recognize your face with a mask on, and every time you have to enter your password, and it also takes some time for the password thingy to come up, and it gets really annoying basically. So if we talk more about the design, we have the power button which is pretty big and it is on the right hand side, and then we have the volume rockers on the left hand side, which are all really clicky and tactile buttons. It feels really nice. And then we have the alert slider. So yeah, alert switch basically, which is a signature Apple thing, and I really like it. And overall this phone looks and feels really great. We had a new design for the camera module. It was vertical and we have dual lenses at the back, and yeah, overall this feels really nice to hold in the hand. And because of the 5.8-inch display, I'm easily able to use the iPhone X with one hand, and yeah, it is a really comfortable experience honestly. And also like iOS is not really intuitive for one hand use, but Yes, with the smaller size and this handy phone, I'm able to use all the gestures like properly in iOS 15. And I believe 5.8 inch is a perfect size for one-handed use of a phone. And yeah, this feels really nice, to be honest. Also, as you may all know, the haptic motors are just amazing. There is a Taptic engine in this, and this was the last iPhone with 3D touch in it. And yeah, 3D touch is really nice. It is really helpful. It is basically a pressure sensitive like feedback with the Taptic engine, other than the long press thing. Yes, the Taptic engine works with the 3D touch, so it like depends on how much pressure you put in your on the screen, okay, and it will react based on that. And it is a really cool feature. I don't know why they removed it, but yeah, when you use it, you'll surely love it. So at the bottom we have the lightning port, and yeah, it was really weird for me because I'm primarily an Android user and I'm a hardcore Android fan. But yeah, the lightning port was a surprise for me, and it is really annoying, to be honest, because now I have to carry a separate cable for this phone itself, and my all other accessories are USB-C. And since this also doesn't have a headphone jack, so I had to get the lightning to 3.5mm converter to plug in my wired headphones. So yeah, that was also an added expense. And yes, the iPhone 10 comes with stereo speakers, but these speakers are not that great, honestly. They get loud, they get pretty loud, but they start to get a little bit tinny at like 60 to 70% volume, which is not that great. But yeah, they are decently loud. It's fine for casual listening and stuff, but they are nothing exceptional. Even like the budget Android phones right now have better stereo speakers than this phone. And also you get used to this bigger notch really quickly. I didn't use a phone with this bigger notch before, but yeah, I got used to it pretty quickly because it doesn't like interfere in anything around the UI, so which is really nice. Now if we talk about performance, the iPhone 10 comes with the A11 Bionic chip along with 3GB of RAM, and yeah, the performance overall has been pretty great on iOS 15. There are very minor hiccups here and there, but that may just be a software issue. But overall the phone is really smooth and very responsive in daily usage. Yes, it may not perform as well in gaming and stuff, but yeah, for day-to-day usage it works really well. Apps open really quickly, the animations are really smooth, and I overall really like how this phone is performing even after 4 years of usage. And you can still get about 2 to 3 years of software updates more from this. This is the 4th year of software update for the iPhone 10, and you will get around 2 to 3 years more on this phone, so you can keep using it if you want for another 2 to 3 years with the latest software. And yes, iOS 15 is pretty good. You have the option to set widgets in your home screen and all that. It's fine, it's not that great. I still love Android and customizing my Android home screen and stuff, but yes, it is fine. It is good. There are a few things here and there, like when you're switching from Android, you lose your entire WhatsApp chat history because on iPhones the chat history is backed up in iCloud, and on Android it is done in Google Drive. And also I've noticed that on iPhones the like iCloud backup is limited to whatever storage you have. So that is pretty like weird, because on Android the Google Drive storage for WhatsApp chats is like unlimited. So yeah, that was another thing that I noticed, and it was really annoying. And the second thing is that you will lose out on some apps that you won't find in the iOS App Store, and obviously you cannot sideload apps in iOS, which also is a bummer when you're switching from Android. And another thing is that file transfer with a Windows laptop or something becomes really annoying. First of all, Lightning is really slow for data transfers, and secondly you have to download like additional softwares like iTunes and stuff to just copy paste files, which is really annoying. So yeah, if you have a MacBook it's good, you can airdrop stuff, but if you cannot like airdrop big stuff, it will take a lot of time. So yeah, that is also one thing that I faced with this particular device. Now if we talk about battery life, so the iPhone 10 that I have over here, the battery of this one was just replaced before I bought it. It was done through Apple officially, and after 3 months I still have 100% on the battery, which is pretty good because I have used wired and wireless charging both on this phone, and it's still at 100%, which is really nice. And the battery backup is also really good, surprisingly. It only has around a 2700 mAh battery, but yeah, it lasts me the whole day with like casual to average usage. But if you like game a lot or if you use the camera a lot, the battery will drain quicker, and the charging is not that fast. It only has like 15 watts of maximum wired charging and like 5 watts of wireless charging, I guess. Its charge is really slow. It takes about 2 hours or so to charge it with my like 25 watt PD charger. It takes about 1.5 to 2 hours, which is not that great considering nowadays phones are like getting charged in 20 to 30 minutes from like 1% to 100%. So yes, the charging is really slow, but yeah, I charge it overnight and it doesn't really bother me anymore. So the last thing that I want to talk about is the cameras. So we have two cameras at the back. One is a regular wide lens and another one is a 2x telephoto lens. Both are 12 megapixel sensors, and at the front we have a 7 megapixel selfie camera. So honestly, the back cameras are really good. Still they hold up in 2021 and they take some exceptional pictures in some good conditions. But overall the cameras are really nice. The back cameras are really good and it can record videos up to 4K 60 FPS, and you all know that iPhones have the best smartphone video quality in the industry, and it's true for this one also. It still holds up and it still takes great photos and videos. Yes, it struggles in like low light. It doesn't have a night mode or anything. It struggles in low light because the sensors are not that big or something like that. Yes, but if you give it a lot of light, if you give it adequate light, it takes really good pictures. I've taken some great shots with the iPhone 10 and I've taken some exceptional videos with this particular phone. And yeah, the front camera is 7 megapixels. Honestly, it's not that great. It often just overexposes your photo or over sharpens it. But yeah, it's fine for video calls and casual selfies and stuff. You have those portrait light effects and stuff, which work really well. And overall, I would say the cameras are really good and absolutely more than usable in 2021. And yeah, with that, I would say that the iPhone 10 is a good purchase, I would say, for some people who are looking for an iPhone for really cheap and they don't want to spend a lot but they want to get a good iPhone. So I would say the iPhone 10 is a really good choice if you can get it for around that 20 to 25,000 mark. But yeah, don't go over that because it is not worth it over that. You can get the 10s or 10s Max if you want to go over that budget. For around 20 to 25,000 rupees or roughly $300, you can definitely get the iPhone 10. It is still a pretty good buy, and yeah, if you can get it with a battery percentage above 80%, then it's pretty nice. And if you get one with a battery percentage lower than 80%, then just get the battery replaced and you will be well and good. So yeah, that's my verdict about it. You can definitely get the iPhone 10 in 2021. And if you like this video, then don't forget to hit that like button and definitely subscribe to the channel. Hit that red subscribe button down below and also hit that bell icon to stay notified about my new uploads. I'm gonna soon bring out the Pixel 4a review and also my experience on switching full time from Android to iOS. So make sure to stay tuned on the channel for those. And yeah, that's it for this video. I'm your friend Shinobi and I'm signing out. Peace.
I shouldn't be standing with a heart that's so heavy. I shouldn't be up with all the weight that I carry. Don't know if it's right, but I'm sticking with you. You're my only vice, I'm dependent on you.